Mecha is a
I
very
love
old
Mecha
subgenre of
so
sci-fi
much,
that's
but
all
only
about
if it
giant
has good
robots. A
story
big
though.
reason that it's
My
gotten so
best
popular
code
is because of the
guess.
toys that were
I wonder which one does Prison School fall under. But Prison School was good though.
better. Isekai literally translates
Another
to
one.
different or other world. It usually happens using a portal or
Or the entire
reincarnation.
video
While
game.
many people think of Isekai as a
Every anime genre explained in 12 minutes, as I will be exploring in today's video, as done by Ari Kendo. Thank you. Welcome back to the channel, fellas. If you are new here, thanks for joining us. My name is Paul. So we'll be checking this out. Alright, let's know more about our favorite shonen genres and whatnot. Okay, I'm excited to see what all this is about, although I know a lot about genres, but I want to know more. Let's see, as this was done by Ari Kendo. The link is down in the description below. Alright, and please don't forget to like and subscribe button. So without further ado, let's check this out. Onegaishimasu.
Shonen is one of the biggest anime genres, even though it's the most misunderstood, because it's not actually an anime genre. Shonen directly translates to boy, meaning that it's less of a genre and more of a demographic. And even though shonen is technically targeted towards young boys, a huge amount of people outside that demographic also consume a shonen anime, making it a pretty useless distinction when trying to differentiate them. For example, Death Note and Chainsaw Man are both published in shonen magazines, making them both technically shonen even though their tones and themes couldn't be farther apart. This makes shonen a very nebulous term when describing anime, but anime fans will still use shonen as a genre. But when you hear this, you can assume that they are usually talking about battle shonen. This is an actual genre because it does consist of shonen anime where the primary focus is on battles, usually with superhuman abilities like My Hero Academia or Bleach. The first modern battle shonen that
I know the soundtrack is using, and I know where I got it from.
Examples of great battle shonen that follow in Dragon Ball's footsteps would be Hunter x Hunter or Naruto. Examples of more mature shonen would be Full Metal Alchemist or Death Note. Comedy anime are all about making you laugh, but usually get a bad rep from the anime community for, well, not making us laugh. But it's important to remember that as English viewers, we lose a lot of context when an anime is translated.
I think
Sometimes
that's true,
Japanese humor relies on wordplay to inject humor into an exchange, which can often get lost on us. Another gripe anime fans have with a lot of comedy anime is that they'll heavily rely on a single joke, with changes only happening to the surrounding context or situation. But this isn't always a bad thing. Examples of good comedy anime that focus on a single punchline are One Punch Man or Sakamoto-kun. Examples of other good comedy anime that don't rely on a single joke would be Nichijou or Psyche K. Seinen is a much less recognized term to most casual anime viewers, but it essentially just translates to youth, as in it is targeted towards young adults, specifically adult males. Seinen is again not a genre, but instead a demographic. An easy way to tell if a manga is published in a seinen magazine is if they directly use the word young. One of the most widely known seinen manga, Berserk, was originally published in a magazine called Young Animal, which often contains pinups along chapters of the manga. Because seinen manga are targeted towards an older audience, they often deal with much darker themes and storylines. Examples of this are Vinland Saga, where themes of revenge and slavery are prominent, and Berserk, which is personally my favorite thing of all time. Sci-fi is an anime genre with a heavy emphasis on technology or futuristic elements, and it is significantly different from Western sci-fi. Sci-fi used to be a very popular genre in anime, most likely originating with the anime Astro Boy. However, the golden age of sci-fi is widely regarded to be in the 80s and 90s, meaning that many anime fans aren't well versed in the best sci-fi anime, including Akira, Ghost in the Shell, and Cowboy Bebop. It's worth noting that shows like these popularized the cyberpunk genre across the world, which is why I would point you towards Cyberpunk Edgerunners if you're looking for a modern sci-fi anime. Slice of life is a controversial genre among
Cyberpunk Edgerunners. I wonder how interesting is it? Please drop your comments down below, and if you want me to check it out.
Is, like the name implies, to capture a slice of someone's regular day-to-day life.
This one has gained momentum these days.
Pace with more emphasis on what we would consider mundane experiences. Some people think that slice of life means no development happens across the series, but that's not necessarily true. Oftentimes, a genre is paired with comedy, drama, or romance. Early slice of life anime that were very influential include Azumanga Daioh, Hidamari Sketch, and Lucky Star. If you want a modern slice of life to enjoy, I would recommend Kobayashi Dragon Maid or Nanon Biori. Romance is another controversial genre because it often takes way too long for anything to actually happen relationship-wise, but this can be chalked up to cultural differences.
I'm not a fan of,
the romance genre
just only romance-based anime.
couple will get together.
I like mine mixed with, something else. death
but with romance
and action and all, so everything just all encompassing.
Happen at all. That's why oftentimes a romance anime will take its time getting the main characters together. There are also many common tropes in which a person mishears the other confession, causing the entire relationship dynamic to be reset. This can be frustrating, and personally I hate the trope too. So if you want some good romance anime that still take a while to develop but don't use those tropes, check out Kaguya-sama or Golden Time. If you want a romance anime that's more akin to Western TV shows, check out Horimiya. Although I will say that I think the manga is better. While to develop but don't use those tropes, check out Kaguya-sama or Golden Time.
Wait, Kaguya-sama. I've heard about this a whole lot. I wonder how good is it? Is it something you guys are down to see me watch? Because I've not watched any of this. So between Kaguya-sama and is it Golden Love or is it Golden Time? Can't see the name there. It's too bright. Maybe I'll check for the full name. But anyway, between these two, which would you prefer I check and which is more interesting? Okay, I love stuff that is interesting. Alright, let's continue.
If you want a romance anime that's more akin to Western TV shows, check out Horimiya, although I will say that I think the manga is better. Isekai literally translates to different or other world. It's technically a subgenre of fantasy that revolves around a person from our world being transported into a fantasy one. This can happen through many different ways, but in Isekai it usually happens using a portal or reincarnation. While many people
the entire video game
as a modern genre, it's actually a very old genre. The idea of going to another world was always a popular one. I mean, think about it. Alice in Wonderland came out in 1865. Really the first isekai, if you ask me. But if we're talking about modern isekai anime, the originator can actually be traced back to Zero no Tsukaima, which helped popularize Naruke web novels. If you want to learn more about the history of modern isekai, check out the video I made on that subject. But basically, Zero no Tsukaima fanfiction is actually what inspired light novels like Re:Zero, which in turn inspired stories like Mushoku Tensei. However, the popularity of adapting light novels into anime really began with Sword Art Online and its huge success, despite the fact that SAO isn't really an isekai to begin with. Fantasy is a very all-encompassing term for any story with fantastical elements. This means that it can actually include shonen fantasy like Hunter x Hunter or Full Metal Alchemist, but it also includes high fantasy. It covers dark fantasy like Claymore or Berserk, but it also covers
so much love Claymore. How many of you have seen Claymore? If you have seen it, just say I have seen the total
have been so influential. In anime, fantasy usually takes inspiration from a many number of things, so in a certain sense, you could say that fantasy is one of the biggest genres.
I wish they can do that season of Claymore. Like, it was a very good anime.
Is another demographical term and not necessarily a genre.
Shoujo. I don't know of shoujo. Okay, girl.
Shoujo anime are more often targeted towards younger girls. Shoujo anime
this one are my least favorite. I don't like them at all.
From shoujo is the magical girls genre, where girls transform into superheroes with magic powers. One of the first examples of a shoujo anime is Sally the Witch, who is technically a magical girl. However, not all magical girl anime are shoujos, as again, shoujo is a demographic and not a genre-defining term. Other important shoujo anime include The Rose of Versailles and Sailor Moon. If I had to pick a shoujo series that acts as a sort of originating point for modern shoujo, I might pick Fruit Baskets or Sailor Moon. But to be honest, as a guy, I don't really watch much shoujo, and I'm pretty qualified to talk about this in particular. So if anyone in the comments has a better idea of what series really popularized modern shoujo, let me know. Anyway, recommendations for modern shoujo that I enjoy would be Yona of the Dawn and My Next Life as a Villainess, which is actually a new subgenre of isekai that involves someone entering the world of a dating sim for women, but as the villain. I also suspect that this villainess subgenre will continue to grow. Josei is another demographical term, but it translates to woman, meaning that most josei anime are targeted towards adult women. However, like shonen and seinen, the lines between shoujo and josei are very blurry. In fact, the thumbnail for this video uses Nana as a josei anime, but Nana is actually a shoujo anime because it was published in a shoujo magazine. Now, the reason I still put it in the thumbnail is because I haven't actually watched any major josei anime, and this is the only mature shoujo anime I've tried. That being said, I can't give any great recommendations, so I'm just using my Animalist catalog here, and using that, good modern josei anime to try would be Chihaya Firu and Rakugo Shinju. Sports anime is one of the oldest usually depicting a high school or collegiate sports team and their journey. Because sports anime vary widely based on the sport itself, they are
forever the best man among them all.
To a show that exemplifies modern sports anime, it would be Slam Dunk. The Slam
Dunk
people
have talked about this
single-handedly increased the popularity of basketball across Japan. And in the same vein, Haikyuu has done the same for men's volleyball across Japan. These are examples of more more realistic sports anime though, and it's worth noting that there are more unrealistic.
I wish they would reanimate
this
Slam Dunk. Because for now, Kuroko is my best.
Good examples of shows like this, where characters are pulling off insane moves that aren't usually possible. If you want a good modern,
I don't mind the one in Kuroko.
Blue Block, although I think the manga is better. Ecchi is a slang term in the Japanese language that means different things in different contexts. It can be an adjective meaning sexy, dirty, or naughty. Ecchi. It can be a verb meaning to have sex, and it can even be a noun where someone is basically a pervert. Ecchi as a genre is characterized by hyper-sexualized moments in a show, often dubbed as fan service, where the plot will bend backwards to force its characters in certain positions. Although shows can have a little bit of fan service and not be an ecchi, when a show regularly pounds these scenes to the viewer or places emphasis on the sexual themes in the show, it qualifies as an ecchi. Now, it's worth noting that ecchi isn't really a genre you'll find on its own, because if you only wanted sexual,
I wonder which one does Prison School fall under.
Alright guys, I just got these brand new
Prison School was good though.
Is a very old.
How many of you have seen Prison School? Just leave your comments down below.
Robots. A big reason that it's
I love mecha so much, but only if it has good story though. My best, Code Geass.
Super Robot and Real Robots.
And recently Valkyrie. Not so recently though, I watched it a couple of years back.
Real robots try and match real world physics and limitations. Before Gundam, Super Robots were the most popular subgenre, but Mobile Suit Gundam caused a revolution in the mecha genre, popularizing the real robot. However, that wasn't the end of the super robot genre. Evangelion popularized the super robot genre once again. And although the mecha genre is still widely popular, owing favors to super fans who buy and build Gunplas, its popularity has definitely dwindled in the last decade. If you want recommendations of solid mecha shows today, I would recommend you Evangelion and one of my all-time favorites, Code Geass.
Code Geass, legendary man.
That are supposedly good are
Valkyrie is good too, so you all should check it out. And Full Metal Panic too also.
Is a little interesting, because in the West, many of us associate the music genre with musicals, where characters will break out into song and dance like in Disney movies. But from my knowledge, there are very few anime that are actual musicals, which is probably a cultural difference. When music is heavily used in an anime, it's because the anime's focus is on music itself. So it's better to think of music as a genre like sports, where the main characters are usually involved in making the music themselves. Popular anime in the music genre include Love Live, which started the anime idol trend, K-On!, which greatly popularized the slice of life and music genres, and if you want a modern music anime that's mixed with comedy, I would really recommend Bocchi the Rock. The harem genre is a
part of that, but I've not watched it. I wonder how interesting is it.
Amorous relationships, typically
leave your comments down below, okay, if you want me to check it out. That's Bocchi the Rock.
Into a reverse harem, where the woman is a main character with multiple male.
I think Prison School should fall under harem.
Bisexual terror, there's a mixed harem, but anime is clearly too scared to do that. Harem as a genre gained popularity due to dating simulators, which explains why most harem anime used to be based on visual novels. Most anime fans look down on harem anime because they're pretty unrealistic in portraying how a boring average guy can pull so many baddies, but let's be honest, the vast majority of harem anime is for horny teenagers who want to self-insert with the main character. But at the same time, there are a good amount of harem anime that still use its premise to tell a compelling story, which often leads to something called a shipping war, where fans choose their best waifu in hopes that they end up with the main character, aka some of these people need to touch grass. An anime that helped create this trend and cause the harem genre to explode in popularity was Love Hina. Examples of modern shows that have a battle royale of baddies would be quintessential quintuplets. If you want examples of a harem that I think are genuinely good, I would recommend The World Only God Knows and 100 Girlfriends, just for being a little more realistic but also fun in the development of all the romances. If you found any mistakes in the video, leave a comment, because as much as I've been watching anime, damn near a decade now, obviously I can't watch every single genre the same. And as always, thanks for watching.
Thanks for making this, man. Arikendo. This was so fantastic and well explained. Okay, that was interesting and very enlightening. Man, there's a whole lot of genres out there that, there's more to it than what they are writing and all, but hey, this was well explained. Big kudos to Arikendo for doing this. I really love the explanation, and it was just clear, short, and concise, alright, and well received. Now, there are a few animes here I saw that I've heard of, but I've not checked out. Like, I've had a lot of Konosuba, Kaguya, Love is War, and all. I'm just asking, are they that interesting for those that want me to check it out, How is it? Is it something that you think I might like also? And is the story at least, fascinating? Okay. And okay, I still have Frere in my mind to check out. Okay, I've heard a whole lot about that and I heard it's interesting, so I'm considering giving it a shot very soon. Okay, so let's see how it goes. Well, Genres. This was so lovely, but my favorite would be that of action. I just like when action is mixed with comedy, action, fantasy, comedy. At least when those three are joined together, and when they are given a good story, they turn out very, very awesome. For now, my best Mecha anime is Code Geass, hands down, like it's the top best. Valve is also very good, but a whole lot of people haven't checked it out. So if you have seen this video and you have not watched Valve, do check it out. Okay, it's the same studio that animated that of Code Geass, did that for Valve. Okay, or I did same for Valve. Okay, and also another worthy mention is Full Metal Panic. Okay, that one too is good. I actually found it interesting and lovely, so you can also check it out. And yeah, for my sports anime, my best is Kuroko no Basket, man. That anime really blew my mind to the latter. Like, I totally loved it. You know, it had been out for a while, and I had been, oh gosh, English. I had been hearing it for a whole long while before I checked it out. Okay, I checked out, I think 2019. It had been out for like some seasons out for like what, 7 years, 6 years, and I was just a bit skeptical to check it out. But when I checked it out, gosh, I was totally blown away. I mean, how they made it so interesting was just on another level. Okay, I heard of Slam Dunk too, and it's interesting, but it's quite old. I just wish they can reanimate it. Okay, and maybe I might check that. I think I tried watching one episode many years ago, but I don't know, I was just feeling it at that point. Maybe I might check it out again now, but I just wish it can be reanimated, at least properly though, if they are reanimating it. But if not, so I'll see if I can check out the OG old animation again. Okay, but let's see. Anyway, I'll not cut this here. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe button. I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.